Guys, Zoe here. Welcome back to another Total Drama video. Today we are going to be doing another Total Drama What If. So, sadly, my favorite character from the season, Courtney, in my last What If was first moved, unfortunately. So, to give her a little boost for her and also for my happiness, I decided to do a What If Courtney wasn't, what if Harold did not rig Courtney out in basic training. If I have talking issues or slow my words, it's because talking really hurts because I have like the worst cold sore ever. So heads up. But yeah. So in the description I'm gonna leave like more. In the description I'm gonna leave like more total like what if channels that gave me inspiration to do this. So yeah. Let me just organize people to the right teams real quick. Okay, now we are going to get started. So, in episode 12, we all know that's like the most iconic episode in Island, probably. Harold infamously rigged the votes against Courtney. I believe he should have rigged Duncan out, and I would like Harold a lot more as a character, because Duncan's the one that deserved it more, but whatever. As we know, Harold infamously rigged Courtney out. Now, in this universe, do we want to make it so Harold rigs Duncan out instead, or do we want to make it so... That could honestly be a different what if, so no. But I don't think we're going to do that. And honestly, if Harold didn't rig the votes against Courtney, then he would get all the votes and he'd be gone. So Harold would get 12th place. So the next challenge was the Extreme Sports Challenge. Harold caused the defeat and lost. But you see, Harold's not here. And do I think Courtney would do a better job than Harold? Yes. I don't think she'd have the same faults that Harold said of, like, getting distracted by Heather's boobs. So I think Screaming Gophers would actually win this challenge in this universe, which would mean they had more even losses to wins. Whereas they were down a lot more than the other two. Now, who would they vote here? Honestly, even with Lindsay's help, and if Screaming Gophers lost, I really don't see how, even with Lindsay's vote, I feel like these four are all voting Heather. Like, I feel like there's nothing she can do that we can, like, talk about that would save her here. So, yeah. That's kind of just inevitable. Rip Heather, early time. So that means that the remaining 10, 5 from each this time, have successfully made it to the merge. Now, they're gonna bring 2 contestants back. I'm going to choose Izzy. Now, Chris brought Eva back because she had a lot of personality and she was, like, good for ratings and she got booted early. But I feel like with Heather gone, I feel like the producers would just bring her right back. Now the reason, I feel like because Heather's the only one out of these ones really stirring the pot. You could argue Courtney probably would, but I don't really think she'd have the same effect that Heather would have. So, I think the producers would bring Heather straight back. So Heather's back. And now that means we've got I kind of messed this up. Oh no. 12. We're just gonna do 12 to 11 here. Okay. So, the first challenge was I don't remember what the challenges were called. I just know they all had to do an extreme torture. I think that's what it was, extreme torture. Now, do I think Courtney would do well in extreme torture and stand a chance against Lashana, who ended up winning and beating Eva? No, I don't feel like Courtney being here instead of Eva I feel like she'd do a lot worse in this challenge, personally. So, I think Lashana would still get this W, because Courtney's not doing better, she's actually doing worse. Now, who do I think the contestants are voting here? That's a tough one because Eva's not here anymore to be voted. I definitely think that the people in ships are safe, like Courtney, Duncan, Jeff, Bridget, DJ. I feel like they all had like a bond as Killer Bass, so I don't see any of them voting for each other at all. So I don't think all of these people would vote together. I think that these 5 would all vote the same person. Do I think they'd boot Heather, though? I don't know, because Heather just got back, so would she get the Eva treatment? That's tough. I honestly feel like they don't like Heather. And these people, and Lindsay's the only one that really likes Heather, and I guess Izzy to a degree. Do I think they would just boot Heather straight up because she just got back? And I don't know if I agree with that for Heather's character. I think that these 5 would probably vote I honestly feel like, yes, they'd want to vote Heather, but also they still think it's a jury vote. So I feel like that's why Duncan wasn't pushing for Heather as much. He only voted Heather here because he thought Heather was the reason Courtney got out, but that didn't happen. So I don't really see Duncan voting Heather because of that. So I feel like these 5 vote a social threat. And LaShawna's immune, so that means Owen is the next biggest social threat. So these 5 vote Owen. I think that these 4 vote for Heather. These 2 probably vote for Courtney, I feel like. And Izzy's a swing vote, but unless she votes for Heather, I don't think that would cause a tie if she voted Heather, and I think Heather can easily sway Izzy. And even if there is a tie, Heather would probably easily clap Owen in that tiebreaker. So no matter what happens, sorry Owen, you're 12th place. Okay, the next episode is the one where Heather kisses Trent and gets him eliminated. I think that still happens with Gwen kind of coming in with LaShawna kind of coming in with these 5 and convincing them, with Courtney as extra backup here. So Heather's still immune, and I still think Trent goes. That does not save Trent, unfortunately. Okay. So, this is the episode where Bridget got voted off. Do I feel like these guys still create a guys' alliance with Courtney here? No, because I feel like Duncan has motivation to keep his girlfriend in for the numbers and also because he loves her. And I don't think I think this 5-person alliance works. So I don't see Duncan like betraying Bridget here. I don't remember who won immunity in this version. I believe it was probably Heather. Or it was hide and be sneaky, right? So Shauna would have won. I don't know. I don't remember what the challenge was. I've not watched Total Ramen Island in forever. But either way, it's Heather or Shauna that wins here. I can't remember which, so I'm not gonna get them either of them eliminated here. These 5, I think, instead would probably push for Gwen. Honestly. These 5 push for Gwen because of Gwen's friendships. I think Duncan sees that Gwen has a lot of friends, and either Shauna or Heather's immune, so I'm letting them both be safe because it's not really fair that I don't know. So, they push Gwen, these 5. These 2 are kind of on their own. They probably vote for Courtney. I think Heather and Lindsay can easily get behind voting either of them, and I feel like Heather hates Gwen more than Courtney in this season, so they vote Gwen. So either way, rip Gwen, you are 10th place. Dang, both the canon winners out. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this episode is the one where Heather infamously does that thing to Lindsay. Do I think either of these people would finish after Lindsay? Courtney, no. I honestly don't see her finishing just because she's not that good with bikes. We see that in World Tour. Yeah, she was under emotions, but I feel like if like Duncan said something cute to her or anything, she'd get distracted easily, and yeah. Bridget, though, she probably could. Do I think she'd finish before or after Lindsay, though? I honestly think she'd finish before Lindsay. and maybe even before Heather, if that was the case. So either way, even if Bridget finishes, I still feel like Heather does the thing to Lindsay. Lindsay curses out Heather. Goodbye, Lindsay. This episode, nothing changes. DJ gets voted here no matter what, so rip DJ. DJ gets the most scared for whatever reason, and DJ's gone. Okay, final... Oh my gosh, I messed up. Oh my gosh. So that's, okay, so now we're at the final 7. So in this episode, Izzy got eliminated. I don't feel like Courtney and Bridget still being here changes that. I feel like Izzy is still a wild card and Izzy can't really survive, so Izzy still goes. Rip Izzy. So now we have the final 6. Do I think that... So this was the little Team of 2 challenge. Gwen and Jeff aren't here to have that bonding session, so let me just assign new pairs. I think Duncan and LaShawna are still together. I think Bridget... I don't feel like Chris lets people... I feel like Bridget gets with Jeff instead, because that would be a good replacement for Crystal. Because the same plot happened, but Bridget doesn't hate Jeff at all. And then we have Courtney and Heather here. Courtney and Heather are probably beefing the whole time, so no way do they win. And I think Duncan and LaShawna probably win this challenge. Courtney and Heather don't. And I think now is where Duncan would probably do the, hey, we need to make our couple the one and only standing couple. LaShawna knows this, so, and kind of agrees with Duncan that yeah, she wants Courtney gone too. Probably she wants her Courtney gone too, but for now, they vote Jeff, I think, still, like canon, and Jeff goes. Rip Jeff. Final 4. Unfortunately, this thing happening does not save Jeff. Or does not save LaShawna, unfortunately, from this absolute riggery of a vote. And unfortunately, that means LaShawna's out. So the final 4 challenge. Okay. So we have, this is a very interesting final 4. I think this is a very interesting final 4. Who would they would be teams of 2. I feel like, who would Chris pair? I don't feel like Chris would pair Heather and Courtney because they've been paired already. So I think Chris will either pair Courtney with Bridget or Duncan. I don't feel like Chris would have any motive to pair. I don't know, would he? I think he'd let Duncan and Courtney be paired, and he'd let Heather and Bridget be paired. Now, who do I think would win this challenge? I honestly think Duncan and Courtney would beat out Bridget and Heather, who are probably beefing. So even though Duncan and Owen weren't able to beat Gwen and Heather, who are beefing, I feel like Courtney's a different character than Owen, and they could definitely do it, and Heather wouldn't necessarily be able to trick Duncan with Courtney around. So that would mean Chef's vote, and I feel like, yeah, Chef eliminates Heather. Okay, final 3. None of these characters made it to the final 3 before, so that makes I Triple Dog Dare You very awkward. So here's the thing. Duncan, I definitely think could last through I Triple Dog Dare You. Courtney, most people argue she wouldn't because of the fact that she really didn't want to get embarrassed ever. Like, she was scared to be embarrassed on TV. With Duncan here, though, I feel like that would change, because Duncan kind of brings out a different side to Courtney, and I feel like with Duncan here, since both of them are still here, I feel like Courtney could do it. I honestly feel like out of these 3, Bridget is more likely to get embarrassed first. So, unfortunately, more than Courtney. Duncan, I think, is definitely through. Duncan definitely makes the finale. Courtney and Bridget, I definitely don't think they would make it. I think that Courtney would have trouble, but Duncan would be able to motivate her. So, either way, despite Courtney and Bridget's friendship, Bridget is gone. So, this is the finale. Oh my gosh, no. Oh my god, I messed up a lot. Oh my gosh. Okay, so final two. Who do I think would get the canon ending? Who do I think would get the alternate ending? I feel like while more people are cheering for Duncan, I like Courtney more, so sorry. I don't really care much, but Courtney gets the canon win. So that is that. That is what would happen if Harold never rigged Courtney out. It's really interesting. That literally means that Courtney, in my version, would have won if Harold didn't rig her out. I don't know if people agree with that, but that is what I think would happen. And you might call my bias into question. That's definitely fair. There are times that Courtney could have easily gotten eliminated, but I feel like Courtney could, in my version, she wins, and that's okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!